Hello, my name's Frank Sims. Right now I'm living in New York, speaking to you from New York City. In 1983, I was fortunate enough to be a participant in the entire David Bowie Serious Moonlight Tour Let's Dance album. As we were leaving the session one day, David said, "Oh, Frank, could I have your phone number? I'd like to have your phone number." And I'm thinking, "Oh, this is great. He wants my phone number. It's great." So sure enough, about a week or two later, his manager, Bruce Dunbar from Isolar, called up and said, "Well, David would like to have you guys come on the road with him." And I said, "Oh, that's fantastic. I can't wait." I said, "I'll tell the other guys." He said, "Not guys, just call your brother." I said, "Well, what?" He said, "But there are 3 guys in the album." He said, "Well, David only wants 2 people." So I said, "You mean I've got to call the 3rd guy and tell him he's not going?" I said, "Oh, no." But I did. I called because I didn't want there to be suddenly my brother and I, George, go on the tour, and this guy saying, "Why didn't you call him?" I thought we were friends. So I called him, and he was just devastated. He's devastated. And it was sad because he later wrote letters to the management saying, what happened, what's wrong, what's the problem, blah, 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 blah. But as we learned later, David said, "Well, I want Frank and George because they're brothers and they're kind of like 2 peas in a pod." And we are. And there's a lot of us, we have a lot of 2 pea in the pod kind of thing. And we do a lot of jokes together and our voices sound almost identical and stuff. So it was an idea. So that's when I met David. I met him in 1983 through Nile Rodgers and through Robert Sabino, the keyboard player. And then it was just from then on, it was just great. So that was it. So we went into Top Cat, did a bunch of songs. David is an avid rehearser. We rehearsed many, many hours a day, day after day, at least 6 days a week. But it was very relaxing once we were there, but we just continued to rehearse. That's when Stevie Ray Vaughan was with us, and then the rest of the band. So in the horn section, Lenny Pickett, Stan Harrison. Carmine Rojas was the bass player, Tony Thompson on drums. Earl Slick had not appeared yet because you had Stevie Ray Vaughan, and of course Carlos Alomar, musical director, had worked with David before. Yeah, well, Carlos was very facile at everything he did because he'd done it before, and he was a very laid-back guy. Carlos would never get mad. He's the epitome of the cool, laid-back guy. "Hey, how you done? Yeah, everything's nice. Yeah, shook fan. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, I got no time about that. I'll tell you what, you horn guys go in the other room, you figure out your part, you come back when you're done." So he was never demanding and never authoritarian. He was always really, really nice like that. When we finished that rehearsal, the plan was to fly to Dallas to rehearse at the Shoko, at a huge airplane hangar rehearsal studio. So we were there. We were on a huge stage. It was like a monster stage, a giant, like an airplane hangar. Starting on the tour in America, when we played in New York, first of all, which is, that's where everybody shows up. So in the New York show was Andy Warhol, Keith Richards, all sorts of people. Rod Stewart, I think, was there. Unbelievable amounts of enormously, and even people who transcended the music business, like I say, Andy Warhol, people who weren't even involved, Ed Koch, all sorts of these people were at this party. We did it at I think Indochine or something. It was a nightclub that was a sort of a Japanese fusion nightclub, and I remember getting off. They had us in a bus, not necessarily a school bus, but a bus. And as we got off the bus, Andy Warhol is at the foot greeting everyone. "Hello, welcome. Hello, come on, welcome." Andy Warhol. So I said, "Yeah, something's happening." And then we sat down at the table, and guess who comes sits down next to me? Keith Richards. Keith Richards sitting next to me, everybody. "Hey, Keith Richards is sitting here." And then he starts talking to me. I'm saying, "Well, this has got to be weird." He goes, "All like this you guys are doing. I love you guys. But I got to ask you this. How come the break in the middle? Why the break?" Because we'd play for an hour and a half, then take like a 20-minute break, then we'd have a second set. And for some reason, Keith Richards said, "Why the break? Why just play straight on?" But he was just good. And I couldn't believe how many wrinkles in his face. I've never seen anybody with leather face like that. After the New York show, and we had cultural icons from all over the world were actually there at the show, and I thought, now this is something special. So that was early summer. The atmosphere in the tour was spectacular. Everyone, I have to say, everyone got along. It's absolutely true. There was no animosity everywhere we went, which is great. Oftentimes, in the nice parts of the world, which is in Europe, in my opinion, we'd go to a place and we'd have 2 or 3 days. And instead of sitting around the hotel room, David would say, "Let's go do this." Somebody would say, "Let's go here. Let's take a so-and-so. Let's go out here." So we would have little day trips. Very well-organized day trips. When we were in West Germany, we took the train into East Germany to see what it'd be like and took some pictures and, checked the whole thing out, blah, 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 the whole thing. Saw the guys with the Uzis in the train station. That we saw the actual wall, But my brother George went in several times alone and would buy things. He was buying East German flags. And when the people at the stores would say, "What are you going to do with this flag?" And he'd say, "I'm going to put it," and he said, on my wall, meaning at home. He used the wrong word from wall, meaning the Berlin Wall. And they thought, you're going to put these on the wall? So, he had to explain to him. But again, George is very good with languages. So he realizes the Mur and the Wand was two words. Mur and Wand are two German words. One means the wall and one means my wall at home. But it was great emotion. Yeah, just great fun for everybody. Very much like a family. A lot of fun. Every time in the bus and just tremendous time. Yeah, everyone was always together too. That was good. No, but they had said that in the past, Bowie had some emotional times with, going on tour, but he was very, very up every night. I remember every night he was very, very, very excited. I remember maybe a couple nights that he kind of was like a little bit low. He'd lost his voice, had a small cold, and he said to me, you might have to help me out tonight, with some of the notes. But I really never had to do. I mean, well, George and I would help him during the background notes, but it never got to the place where I'd literally have to sing pretending I was him. But that never happened. And, I still have dreams about being on stage with...
Really?
Yeah, I do. 25 years, I still have dreams. The kind of dreams are those frustrating dreams that since that, dreams are mostly you're trying to work out problems. It's not pretty much, I don't think it's wish. According to a therapist I had one time, he said dreams are more problem solving than they are wish fulfillment. So you're not really wishing for something to have. You're trying to work out a problem you have. So I was thinking to myself, that was the most wonderful part of my life. It's the kind of part of your life that you'd like to relive. And so you keep thinking in your mind as you're dreaming, how can I relive that? How can I get more in touch with that? How can I connect with that? So I think that in my life, I've had many, many dreams where I've been with David or Carlos or Carmine or Tony or my brother or whatever, and we've been in some location. And yet the frustrating part of it is that we're not doing the same thing we used to do. You see, because you're working out a problem. And the problem is that how can I get to that, back to where that was? Because it was so much fun. You had no cares. You had no worries. They were taking care of you. They'd fly you to Bangkok. They'd fly you to Los Angeles, fly you to New York, fly to Miami. Never a nickel. You're not paying a nickel. You're getting paid to do it. You're getting lobster and caviar and crab cakes, sushi every night of the week, and it's for nothing. And they're giving you bottles of wine. They're giving you food at every buffet. And you walk to buffet, and it looks as though it's like set for Prince Edward. I mean, this buffet and caviar and it's just. And then suddenly it's gone. It's just gone. And it's just, and I really believe that after an experience like that, you just keep talking. You dream about it, and you say, "Boy, how can I get in touch with that again? How can I connect with that?" That's all I can think. I mean, because it's virtually assured that unless you are Mick Jagger, you're not going to be doing that much more in your life. And that's when you have to realize. You have to realize that even if I did it when I was, let's say, 32 years old, whatever, in 1983, it's not going to be the same thing. It's no matter what. No matter it's like, hey, David just called you up and he wants you and George and Carlos and Carmen to go out another tour and you're going to play the same songs. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. Okay? So it's an experience that has to happen, and it has to happen naturally, organically, and you have to enjoy it. And I'll tell you, before I went on that tour, I said, I'm going to enjoy every damn day of this. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to force myself to enjoy it. I'm never going to be pissed off. I'm never going to look at a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to appreciate and I did. I appreciated every second was there because I knew that this opportunity is not going to be one that's going to possibly never happen again. I look back on it right now with wishing so much that I could be back there. But as an adult and a wise man, you know that it would never be the same. So you have to appreciate for what it is, just as I did when I was going through it. And you just have to, deal with it. It's real. But it's just an astounding experience. It's right. Anyone can tell you, whether they're in a star movie or a star hit show or a big rock and roll star, they'll tell you wow, I wish I could get back there. I would love to get back to where that is. Well, you just can't do it. It's just, like they say, you can't go home again. So that's just the nature of the beast. I feel blessed. And then people ask about it every day. Oh, Frank, I was walking in the grocery store and I heard you on Let's Dance. Oh, Frank, I heard you on Modern Love. Oh, you know what? I was watching VH1 and they're playing Modern Love. I said, I know that guy there in the suit. I worked with him yesterday. So that happens. That will always happen to me, I'm sure, until I die.